Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. When this video is posted, I'll be around 24 hours into a 3-day dopamine dry fast. So in this video, I want to tell you what that is, why I'm doing it, and how I'll be doing it. So a dopamine fast doesn't necessarily have to be a dry fast, so let's start with the dry fast part. A dry fast is exactly as crazy as it sounds, Apart from not eating anything for several days, you also don't drink any water. And then we have a soft dry fast and a hard dry fast. In a soft dry fast, you can still touch water, you can shower, take a bath. In a hard dry fast, you avoid all water contact as much as possible. And no, you don't die from not drinking water for a few days. I've done 3-day dry fast using the sauna even without any issues whatsoever, and there are people that have gone like over a week dry fasting. But a little disclaimer here, of course, that don't take this as medical advice. Completely depleting your body not only from food but actually water as well for several days is of course quite an intense thing to do. So yeah, there are many unique benefits to dry fasting as well, but just don't take this as medical advice. It's me telling you about my experience and what I know, and then you go ahead and do whatever you want, all right? And I'll also say that if you want to know every little detail about stuff that happens in the body on a fast, like just go Googling or YouTube searching someone else, okay? I want you to understand, guys, that I'm Coach Theo that has many different tools at his disposal and knows a lot about philosophy and mindset for all these kinds of self-development processes. But I am not the guy that will list all the scientific facts and this is exactly what happens in the body, and you don't need to know all that nerd shit, to be honest. Many of the things you ask me, I don't know. And clearly I'm doing well without it, So just be aware of that. I'm talking about the big picture, how you should see it for you as a person, what the process looks like. And then if you're curious about more of the facts, which of course can be interesting, but just go looking somewhere else, all right? So a dry fast, the one thing you want to do to prepare for a dry fast, as always, you can, which you can do for not a dry fast too, just eat lower carbs before the fast so you go faster into ketosis when the fast starts. And this is something I've done. I've been cutting and I reduced my carbs further this last week. I removed the potatoes and ate just meat with some vegetables for lunch. But then the only thing you want to do really is that before the fast you want to take sodium bicarbonate. It's called baking soda, I think, in English, because this will prevent the kidneys from becoming too acidic on the dry fast, all right? So in my case, I will have had my Sunday live stream. I've had my last meal right before starting that stream. And then after the stream is over, a couple of hours later, I have a glass of water with a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate. And then I've completely started my fast. All right. Then with breaking the fast, of course, when you've gone dry, you might have to be a little bit more cautious, like start slower. With liquids, of course. I'll probably be focusing on just fruit juice mainly as I break this fast. But other than that, it's not like, that's the thing about fasting. People want to know so many things, but fasting is you don't eat anything. When you stopped eating, you started fasting. When you eat again, you stopped fasting. And with a dry fast, it's kind of like, yeah, and you also don't drink any water. But okay, the dopamine fast part, I think, like calling it dopamine, like, well, people do, it's not me that came up with the expression. It's probably a little too general and unspecific. I'm sure there are many other things than dopamine that goes into it. But the point is to remove rewards temporarily, okay? And so I know about people that have done another form of dopamine fasting when they still eat and stuff. It's just that they stay away from maybe coffee, other things they use that's a little reward like that, maybe less screen time, things like this, and then just do it for a longer time. The thing though is that even a dopamine fast, it goes hand in hand with especially fasting from food, but of course it adds a layer with removing the water, because food, first of all, it is a big reward for everyone, right? Even for someone like myself that doesn't really have any food addiction, I don't eat any junk food, I feel very rewarded, especially now when I'm cutting. All the food is just like, and fasting from food is, of course, it reverses food addiction faster than anything by scrubbing out the dopamine receptors connected to your taste buds, all right? But it does actually scrub out dopamine receptors in general. So when you want to quit something like an addiction, or just reduce, like lower the baseline for what you're happy with, just fasting from food along with fasting from whatever else will just make it more effective. Okay, so that's why for me the dopamine fast part here is that I used to stimulate, you know, I drink a bunch of black coffee and I use snus, tobacco pouches, right? That's a with nicotine. That's a big thing in Sweden. And for me, it's like these things are actually beneficial. You know, like black coffee, depending on where you look, you're going to see some people saying that it's bad for this, and this, but there are also many health benefits associated with coffee. And I suspect that tobacco, you know, it's when you don't smoke it and it isn't 1,000 additives like what a cigarette is today, it's a completely different story. And some biohackers have even started using, you know, nicotine as a nootropic. So these things that I use, I think I don't need to quit them completely. I even think there are some benefits to them. I don't really experience any problems or side effects from using them, even after having done so for several years. The only thing is just that I don't like that I am indeed very addicted to them, and it's a silly addiction too, because it's like, you know, it's just like I wouldn't have needed them in the first place. Like this much at least, but you just go up and use more for some reason, and now it's just that that's your baseline. And so for me, it's like being this jacked and stacked Giga Chad that can chew on the raw beef liver and cold plunge and just train every workout, every set to failure every day, do all these things, you know, but take away my stimulants and my head hurts and I'm very irritable and weak and that. So my main issue with these things are just that I am addicted to them, and so I have in the past done a fast like this when I stay away from all of it. Water, food, but also my stimulant. And I've noticed that there's no faster way. I feel like hell. I'm going to be feeling terrible during these days. But I know that there's nothing that like so quickly reduces how much I need of these stimulants and can still be happy. So for me, it's a sort of reset. So just instead of gradually trying to use less, it's just like, no, I completely remove it, suffer for a few days, and then I know I'll be fine with like 15-20% of what I used before the fast. But so this is my personal example, of course. What I've done before too is have a completely screen free, like I've gone out to a summer house and just been me, not even using electricity, no food, no water, no nicotine, no caffeine, and no phone. Just me and my pain, you know. And what I'll say about the thing like this is that even if you're not trying to quit or reduce, like I'm doing with nicotine and caffeine here, it is the extremest form of delayed gratification. Like me, in this scenario, being out there, feeling so crap, having nothing to distract myself. I have to be with my uncomfortable feelings and thoughts all the time. But coming back then, oof, everything is just amazing. You know, you just love everything. Being away from the phone, man, noticed how much we autopilot. I would catch myself when I haven't been on my phone for several days, taking up, why am I taking my phone up now? I have no business taking it up. And yeah, it's a further way. You unplug more from the matrix. You know, about the matrix, guys, it's not black and white. We have many different little plugs. So even when you feel unplugged, aspects of you are still plugged in. Like that aspect that wants to pull out the phone all the time. But yeah, so I'll be doing this fast, and when I break it, you know, when you do, I'm gonna go hard dry. Like I might use the sauna to make it a bit more intense, you know, but yeah, I'm gonna go hard dry. It's one thing, I cold showered, and to be honest, the sauna, of course, on a dry fast, it's quite intense to do already, but it's also kind of a means to be able to cold shower without ruining the fast, because you're coming out all sweaty and you're just rinsing yourself with the cold water. And I have a bathtub, sort of. I'm still looking for a better English word for that, but I'm gonna break the fast, the dry fast, in the morning by going into this. I make it very cold, have some ice, and I'll put some bath salts because you do take up electrolytes through the skin and water. That's something you'll notice when you do a dry fast. It's insane how much you couldn't completely replace drinking through your mouth with just soaking yourself, but there is a level there. It's an insane feeling. So I'll break it by going in there with the salts and cold water, and that will be a nice experience. When we speak about why, like, I've been thinking about doing something like this for a long time, because, you know, I do this, I push down my stimulant use to a level I'm happy with. Then life is stressful and I fall into old habits, and then I want to do it, but I kind of can't because I'm in the middle of a bulk or something. I can't, it's not the time to fast. So I've been thinking about it, and now of course I've been cutting. I'm quite lean, guys. Like, this is my lowest morning weight today, this Saturday when I record this, 83.0 kilos. And so this dry fast will just be insane, like last sprint in this cut, which I wouldn't need. Oh, to be honest, I feel too small already. This, what I want to get to, guys, is like the dopamine fast part is for me, but doing it dry at this stage of leanness, and it's just putting on a show for you guys, to be honest. Like, okay, I do appreciate ascetic practices like this and challenging myself, but I'm saying a big reason here is just to show you that you can do things like this, like that it's actually possible. And I've given you some arguments as to why you should do it too, of course. But really, guys, a lot of this is just, I'll be suffering, okay? I'm gonna feel like shit for this. And when you're seeing this video, I'm probably curled up in a ball while a carpenter is helping me with some stuff in my home, and I wish he wasn't there, but he kind of has to be there. So a lot of this is for you guys. You better appreciate it. And of course, I'll do a video on the day of breaking it and tell you about my experience and such. Take some pictures when I look like a corpse there. Ripped corpse, muscular corpse. But yeah, guys, please like and comment. Any questions you have, I'll get to after this fast, of course. But comment anyway, it all helps. The algorithm helps more people find their way here, so it's very much appreciated. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, of course. You don't have to dry fast for that. I've had very few clients dry fast, actually. Work on ourselves holistically, body, mind and soul, jacked and stacked, inside and out. If you're interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description. I'll get back to you with my different options. If you want to support me and my content, you can become a Patreon or a member of the channel, or leave a little super thanks comments. It's very much appreciated, guys. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. You are not fragile. You can do lots of things. I hope you try something more than just being comfortable in your little chair there all the time. Peace.